All right. The COVIDathon track that I believe Pandemic Patch fits best with is the Informational and Coping Tools general track, though there are some things in the two featured tracks that it might be able to fit into. I guess that would really depend on what kind of a team we can put together and what we as a team want to focus on. Jen and I, we've done a lot of work on this project, and we think it can be used to help. And we know that there's a lot of you out there that want to help. So this is that chance. I know for sure that we can address these issues right here. The economic impact through the cryptocurrency. Right now, we don't have a valuation. Aside from what I have set on the land registries. Now, those aren't arbitrary numbers. Those numbers were set after doing research on property prices around the world. As with everything, if we come up with better numbers, those can change. But our tool, the Zeemz game, and specifically the faucet itself, can help reduce the economic impact of this because it can start to give out what will eventually be money. In a way, it's like a universal basic income. In one sense, that is through the education that they receive playing the game. That can never be taken. In the other sense, it's whatever economy they can build in the game and through the game will help them in real life. The social side of it we haven't discussed yet. There's a lot of places that we can go with that. The simplest to start would just be a chat box in place of one of them stupid the flashing ones. I really don't like the flashing advertisements. Other people do. My opinion on advertising is not apparently the mainstream's opinion, or I don't know, maybe if you also don't like the little flashing ones, you feel me. Anyways, a chat box would help reduce the social isolation because you could play the game with other people. You could compare what rewards you got. We would have it all randomized. So you guys know the challenge and the context. I'm sure you guys have read this a couple times. The important thing for us as a team is whether or not we can actually be successful by creating the prototype that they need for getting doctors' information. In this particular case, they need to identify places where personal protective equipment will be needed to protect the individual. That is a location game. What kind of faucet can we build? What is... Okay, let me back up. This is quicksand number 1. It's a disaster faucet. It teaches students about disasters. It was in the middle of being built. The disaster they would learn about is how to get out of quicksand. By the way, if you need to know, you lay down on your back and you roll out. Because of Pandemic Patch, because we have a pandemic, we're in need of a patch. Faucet number 2 is Pandemic Patch. Faucet number 3 will be Pandemic Patch 1.0 or 2.0, however we want to do this, guys, really. And girls and ducks and purple people eaters and the guy on the moon that's chilling there with a cheese sandwich just wondering what the hell is going on and how come we don't have a building up there yet for him to go hang out in. Like, everybody, I cannot even stress this enough, is welcome in this sphere and has not just something they can contribute, but there's a way for them to learn and improve themselves while having a good time. I know that we can do this. It's not just about the having a good time, though, because they're in social isolation. They need that. But if their device is giving their doctors the information, then doctors that have patients that are mental health people, that could be monitored. There's so many different things we can monitor here for the purpose of the contest, the purpose of the hackathon. Where'd it go? It's personal protective equipment and the locations. We're talking hotspots. So a game that does something with fevers, or known hotspots, for example, cities, or connecting with another organization that is using the Bluetooth. My phone's near your phone. You have COVID. I'm going to stay 6 feet away in my personal protective equipment. That, I don't know if we need that equipment. I don't know if we can do that in 2 months. That's the thing. What can we do in 2 months? What is this third faucet? We're building a prototype. Really, we need to have 1 month. I'll talk on the timelines for everything in the next video. Sorry, back to... I know the game can reduce social isolation. The labeling of public places with risk factors. These are things that can be put in through public data sets. The locations with PPE, that is going to be privacy information if we're doing it by individuals. If we're doing it by city locations with high report numbers, that's less of an issue. In either case, what is a four decisions that a person would have to make when identifying whether or not they would need personal protective equipment to go to one of those places? That, what's our scenario? We've got a character in an Atmo suit who's been diagnosed with coronavirus. The location that person is at, is that someplace that somebody should be in PPE? Is that a low risk, a high risk? Because our character is going to be contacting medical in the best situation and self-isolating. So we can't forget that. We have a character. It's the player. They're in their Atmo suit. And they need help from us right now. And as we get them help, they'll be giving the doctors at real medical help. I'll talk to you about the timeline in just a minute. Thank you for your time. If you stuck with it this far, got one more video to go, and then it's time for bed.